I recently found my faith again. After my daughter was killed by a stray bullet in a gang fight, my wife and I decided it was time to find our faith and join a church for support. We searched for a while, trying to find the right group to be a part of. We didn't want to be part of a flock if they had any radical beliefs. So we searched for our new home. We eventually found it, a nice country chapel in the hills of our town. It was the Church of God's Lost Children. The Church of God's Lost Children had a flock of about 500 people. The pastor, Reverend Black, was a decently presented man, someone you feel that you can trust at first glance. We felt safe there with our new family. They helped us to get through our daughter's death and helped us forgive the people that killed her. Reverend Black and his flock were great people. They had followed the same beliefs we had, or as far as we thought. After a few weeks of going to the service faithfully, they informed us that they have a large compound in the woods behind the chapel that the entire flock stays in. They all live together, and after our first few weeks, Reverend Black invited us to come and stay with them. So we did. We didn't know what we were doing at the time. They made everything seem perfect to us. Good food, comfortable rooms, and running water. At least just to get you in and settled. But after a while, everyone was downgraded. New people moved into the nice rooms and got the nice food, and everyone else slept in one giant room on the floor. We ate only rice once a day, and it was required that we attend service every day. All of this had a purpose, we were told. As long as we followed the right path, God was willing and ready to accept us into His loving arms. We were preparing our bodies for God. We did this for 2 years till we were told it was our time to move on. We knew people did this and didn't ever come back to the compound, but we didn't know what it meant. They took my wife first. She was there with me one moment, and they just took her without saying anything. She was just gone. That was days ago. My turn should be coming up soon. I haven't seen her since. God, I miss her so much. I was ready for it all to end. I lived through losing my daughter. I wasn't going to live through losing my wife. I decided that before they took me, I was going to go to a quiet place and end it all. I found a room that I thought was good. No one seemed to use it often. I had taken a knife from the kitchen. I sat in a corner and cut into my wrists. I watched the blood running down and pooling in the palms of my hand. I was getting woozy and lightheaded. It was almost over. I felt my body get warm all over. It was a calming feeling, to feel myself slipping away. I closed my eyes and let myself drift off. When I woke up, I saw my arms bandaged, and noticed I was in a cage in the middle of the compound. I couldn't see anyone for a moment. Then I saw a shadow move from behind me. I spun around as fast as I could, only to come face to face with my wife. She wasn't dead. She told me that I committed one of the unforgivable sins, and that it was time that I paid for it. I wasn't moving on. My wife walked away, and despite me trying, she would not turn around after telling me this. She walked off and went into the arms of Reverend Black. He said I was a disappointment for trying what I did. He said I lost my faith and it was time for me to pay for betraying God. He looked up to someone dressed in a black robe and nodded. 5 more people in black robes surrounded my cage. I've never seen these people before, and I was terrified. What was going to happen to me? They started chanting. They took me out of the cage and led me to a big circular room. It had candles everywhere and a pentagram painted across the entire floor. Shackles were attached to the floor in the middle of the room. I knew that was going to be my resting place. They chained me up and started chanting again. After a while, I could feel the shackles getting hot. Not warm, like burning hot. They were starting to burn my skin. I could hear my skin sizzling and lost feeling in my limbs. The floor around me started cracking and breaking apart. I fell deep into that pit of fire. I knew I had sinned, and I was going to hell for what I did.